Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point, AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Second hour of this Monday edition of Focal Point on the American Family Radio Talk Network. Just kind of a heads up, at the bottom of this hour, just a scant 23 minutes from now, I'm going to have a guest in studio from Channel 4 in the United Kingdom. Here they're preparing a special feature for Channel 4 in the UK on talk radio in America and its impact on the political life of the American people. And Krishnan is going to be with me here in studio at the bottom of the hour, and I'm going to chat with him for a few minutes about why their interest in talk radio, how it compares to the state of affairs in the UK. And then Krishnan has expressed an interest in hearing from you about why you listen to Focal Point. What is it about Focal Point and what we offer here that causes you to gravitate toward this message and toward this program? So we're going to open up the phone lines shortly after the bottom of this hour, so you might want to get tuned up for that. Now, before we get to all that, got some interesting news on the pro-life front. It turns out that Michael Jackson may well have been pro-life. This is the 25th anniversary of the release of his album Bad, and there's a song that's never been released before that's been released in connection with this 25th anniversary celebration, and it's a song that takes a strong pro-life stance. The track is entitled Song Groove, or Abortion Papers, and it was recorded in the 1980s. And here's how the chorus goes for this song. Those abortion papers signed in your name against the words of God, those abortion papers, think about life, I'd like to have my child. Now, more sobering news on the sanctity of life front. It turns out that the New York City Department of Education, grab this, the New York City Department of Education is making the morning after pill. Remember, this is a pill that can function as an abortifacient because it will prevent a fertilized egg from implanting in the uterus of the woman. It can cause an abortion, and it's being made available for free to high school girls at 13 public schools in New York without parental consent. So girls as young as 14 are going to be able to get the Plan B emergency contraception from the public school system in the state of New York. Now, let's give you a little bit of information about the political campaign and kind of where we are at. Barack Obama and Mitt Romney had kind of dueling interviews on 60 Minutes last night. I want to play, let's grab clip 3, Rob. This is Barack Obama, and it's interesting. You know, if you listen to Barack Obama, nothing in the history of civilization has ever been his fault. Everything from the fall of the Roman Empire to the collapse, the failure of the Edsel automobile can be laid at the feet of George W. Bush. So he's talking here with Steve Kroft of 60 Minutes. And so Steve Kroft asks him, do you, bear any responsibility for the fact that the vision that you had for America is not come to fruition? And here's what Barack Obama had to say.
And so change has happened, and positive change for the American people. I'm the first one to confess that the spirit that I brought to Washington, that I wanted to see instituted, where we weren't constantly in a political slugfest, but we're focused more on problem solving, that I haven't fully accomplished that, haven't even come close in some cases. And if you ask me what's my biggest disappointment, is that we haven't changed the tone in Washington as much as I would have liked.
And you don't bear any responsibility for that?
Oh, I think that, as president, I bear responsibility for everything to some degree. And one of the things I've realized over the last 2 years is that only happens if I'm enlisting the American people much more aggressively than I did the first 2 years.
So that's Barack Obama to Steve Kroft, 60 Minutes. As president, I bear responsibility for everything to some degree. Now, I had a story in the stack. I got it somewhere here. I could pull it out if I have occasion to, indicating on this business of negative ads that Barack Obama has run far more negative ads, far more critical ads in the super PAC supporting him than Mitt Romney has run. But the meme is out there that Mitt Romney is the mean-spirited one. And Steve Kroft pressed him on this about the tone of the campaign ads that have been run by Barack Obama's team and by the super PACs that support him. And he admits here that they've made some mistakes. Let's listen.
Do we see sometimes us going overboard in our campaign? Are there mistakes that are made? Are there areas where there's no doubt that somebody could dispute how we are presenting things? That happens in politics. I think.
Aren't the American people entitled to the truth or a better version of it?
I wanted to get that question from Steve Kroft on the record. Aren't the American people entitled to the truth? Because Barack Obama just admitted to Steve Kroft, look, we've gone overboard in the campaign. We've made mistakes. There are areas where there's no doubt that somebody could dispute how we are presenting things. And, things happen in politics. Like, no big deal. And Kraft pushes him on that. Aren't Americans entitled to the truth, or at least a better version of the truth than you have been offering? Let's grab one more phone call. Let's go to Jim in Macon, Georgia. Jim, you're on Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian. I kind of wanted to give all the Christian conservatives that listen to your show a little bit of a different take.
All right.
I'm one of those Christian conservatives that really don't want to vote for Mitt Romney.
Uh-huh.
But, and I want to emphasize the but, when Ryan came onto the ticket, I realized here is a conservative. Who is going to replace Mitt Romney if something happens to him? And if Mitt Romney runs 2 consecutive terms, who is most likely going to be the next presidential candidate?
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking down the road and saying, well, if I vote for Mitt Romney now, then I'm helping to put Ryan in a position to be in that position the next 4 to 8 years.
Well, and that's pretty smart thinking, Jim, and I appreciate the call. Thank you for that. And, the reality is there was a lot of excitement in the campaign that Paul Rand brought. He brought the kind of energy that Sarah Palin brought to the John McCain campaign. Not the same energy, not the same fervor, but a lot of the same energy, energizing the same people, the Tea Party folks that were looking for some kind of champion for their values and didn't really see that in Mitt Romney, but they knew that that's where Paul Ryan was coming from. And we've been disappointed, frankly, that Governor Romney hasn't unleashed Paul Ryan earlier in the campaign. He's intended to do so now. They're intending to make more joint appearances. By the way, mainstream media out there, Barack Obama had a campaign appearance in Wisconsin someplace, and the mainstream media is saying that 18,000 people showed up for this rally. Well, the arena where they held the rally holds a maximum of 5,000 people, and there were empty seats in that arena, and there was no overflow room. So the most that could possibly have attended that rally, 5,000 people. Now, Barack Obama had made a campaign appearance in the same place back in 2008, and he filled up the adjacent arena that seats 23,000, filled that place up to the rafters. Now, 4 years later, he can barely fill a venue that only holds 5,000 folks, 5,000 people. But the mainstream media in the tank for Obama, extrapolating the attendees by a factor of 3 to 4. Focal Point AFR Talk. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us. Don't go away.